Good evening again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, real quick, disclaimer. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links are right there in the description box. So should you like the deep dive on either topic, you'll definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning real quick. We do have the channel marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. And when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center as an example, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they're watching this, parental supervision very much advised, alright? Okay, so let's go to where we left off last time. Alright, this one states, to whom it may concern, I am writing to support the Food and Drug Administration FDA proposal to ban electrical stimulation devices intended for self-injurious behavior or aggressive behavior. I, along with my colleagues in the disability community, have long advocated that these practices are trauma-inducing and torturous practices which must be abolished. Abolished! That includes the entirety of the treatment program, including the bizarre rehearsal lessons, the food contingency program, also known as starvation, the sleep deprivation. Everything they do needs to go the way of the dodo. The building needs to be bulldozed, and then the ground set on fire and salted, and every single staff member at the JRC should be behind bars. But that's just my opinion, you know. Just saying. I supported the ban on ESDs that the FDA sought in 2020 and was disappointed when the decision was vacated by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, D.C. Circuit, on July the 6th, 2021. Thankfully, in response to a wave of advocacy on this important issue, Congress took directive action to update the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, giving the FDA full authority to ban the use of ESDs. Yeah, so, back in 2021, when I said all hands were needed on deck, that means, folks, that at that time period, we geared up for war. You know what I mean? We reached out to everyone. Everyone. Even some of the older folks who maybe didn't even realize that it had been overturned. And we've been at war with them pretty much ever since. Ever since. We have everybody and their mother. We have groups that are at each other's throats viscerally on any other day, coming together to fight this evil. It should tell you everything. If you have ASAN and Autism Speaks willing to cooperate on anything, you know what the other guy is doing is bad. Like, you belong in one of the circles of Dante's hell bad. Just because that's kind of what it takes. Like, us agreeing on anything might be a sign of the end times. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all. Just, yeah. Thankfully, response to a wave of advocacy. Yep. I already read that. I urge the FDA to act quickly to finalize this proposal so that children and adults with disabilities no longer must suffer painful and dangerous electric shocks. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. So, very good comment, straight to the point. Alright, let's take a look here. Alright, so this one says, I strongly support the proposal to ban the use of ESDs for aversive conditioning. As the FDA has noted, people with intellectual or developmental disabilities are a vulnerable population. I wonder why that is, neurotypicals. The vulnerability is multiplied in institutional settings, where members of this already vulnerable group are kept out of the public eye and not given tools for communication. Institutional settings give one population total power over another, with those in power facing almost no accountability for their inhumane treatment of that vulnerable population. So the institutional abuse is well documented. But our current administration wants to bring them back. MAGA wants to bring them back, knowing their history. And this is why I keep telling you all, I don't care what else is going on that's getting Trump all crazy right now. If we don't keep our eye on the ball, something may slip by us that could be absolutely devastating. Eye on the prize at all times, above everything else. If the other stuff falls out and we can stop this madness that way, good, perfect, great. But eye on the ball anyway. Okay? I'm not saying don't keep your eye on what's happening. I'm saying eye on the prize. Do not lose sight of it. Do not allow them to think for a second in the Senate, in the Congress, that we are not watching them every single second of the day. Because if they do not feel that pressure, well, look at the big beautiful bill, huh? Please kill me. In particular, the Judge Rotenberg Center, the institution that uses ESDs, has documented to torture people physically and psychologically. This torture is always legitimized by staff framing it as use of aversives. The use of ESDs at Judge Rotenberg Center is absolutely not restricted to the device's official stated purpose of stopping aggressive or self-injurious behavior. We have that as a fact because we've seen it on video surveillance tape. Quite clearly in that video of what they did to Andre McCollins, he was not presenting aggressively to anyone. He was not signaling that he was going to get up to hurt someone. He was not signaling to get up to hurt himself. The only thing he said was that he did not want to remove his jacket. It is right there on tape for everyone to see. I really wish somebody could explain to me how saying no when somebody tells you to remove your coat is somehow an aggression. Please explain it to me like I'm a toddler. Okay? Just saying. People made to live there have been shocked with ESDs in response to all kinds of completely harmless behaviors, such as not standing up fast enough for a staff member's liking, or asking to be allowed to use the restroom. People have been shocked for reacting to pain, sometimes shocked twice for reacting to the pain of the initial shock. That's literally in the documentation that you will find on the transcripts for the Andre McCollins trial, which if you go to the description box, click on Autistic Hoya's massive archive, you should scroll through there and you'll be able to find those transcripts. There's also some videos of us going through those transcripts on the channel. We're going to have to do some scrolling though. We're talking about a few years back. People have been shocked. This is abundant clear evidence that the staff authorized to use ESDs use them primarily to inflict pain, to punish, and to control, to establish absolute authority over their vulnerable patients. This is entirely outside the use for which ESDs are currently legal. Go off. Go off and tell them about themselves. Go off. That is absolutely correct. Absolutely 100% correct. Entirely. However, the fact that ESDs are being used for deliberate torture and psychological abuse instead of being used as directed is not only good reason to ban them. Even in the context of their stated purpose, reducing self-interest or aggressive behavior, ESDs are harmful and not effective and absolutely nonsensical. I'm going to stop you from hurting yourself by me hurting you instead, and somehow that's going to make me have a better quality of life. Like, really? I am autistic and I have engaged in self-interest behavior. It has always been a symptom of overwhelming distress. Like I said, some of us, it does not happen outside of meltdown. Autistic people don't just choose to bite our arms or hit our heads. We are experiencing full-body despair and loss of control, thrashing against overpowering sensations and emotions. Very much the way I've described it before when I'm in meltdown. It's pure, unadulterated primal brain. It's primal brain. And it's scary coming out and seeing the damage I've done and can do coming out of those. Thankfully, being 40 and all, it doesn't end with the help I got. They're extremely rare, but they do still happen. And they are still just as crazy coming out of them as they were when I was younger. Let me go ahead and continue here. So if things were unbearable for me that I bit myself and I was electrically shocked for it, that wouldn't make anything better. In the moment, it would hurt me and increase my distress. In the long term, it would not prevent me from hurting myself the next time I got so distressed, because my self-control was impaired when I'm in that state. Exactly what I've told you guys. It's primal brain. We are not at home. The more primal part of our brain takes over. It would make me feel more helpless and hopeless, which would increase the chances of me getting that distressed again. People with intellectual and developmental disabilities are people. Attempts to control our behavior with aversive conditioning, a method widely recognized as inhumane even in the context of dog training, are profoundly psychologically damaging to us. As the FDA noted in the 2020 final rule on this issue, trying to stop self-interest or aggressive behavior with the use of ESDs causes many psychological and physical harms, and it does not achieve its purpose of reducing such behavior. The only real way to do that is to ensure that people aren't so overwhelmed with sensations and negative emotions that they can't help lashing out at themselves or others. Like I said, folks, root cause. Root cause. If you don't get to it, nothing actually changes. Right? You are playing pin to tail on the donkey with a blindfold and no back. ESDs are torture devices with no therapeutic application whatsoever. There is no good reason why they should be legally marketed or used in any kind of treatment. If the FDA bans ESDs, it will make this country a safer place for people like me. Beautiful. Doesn't this just sum it right up? Right up, right there, perfectly. Doesn't it? I certainly do. We're going to actually go ahead and close out on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. A few we do get do tend to get removed from time to time, so please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, please don't forget to hit the comments, and make sure you're still set up for notifications. We're coming back Saturday with another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole, and on Sunday with another episode of the Snake Oil Salesman series. I don't want you to miss anything. I appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.